Ladies and gentlemen, it's great to be here. Welcome to Barely Touched Him, episode 22, as Corey hands me my bottle of Mexican cola. I didn't realise that this was a bottle opener thing, and I didn't have one. How did you open it just now? What did you do?
Just with a water bottle.
Mate, you're a talented man at opening bottles.
I am.
And before every podcast, I go to the IGA up the road and I just get two beverages. One is a caffeinated beverage and then one will be a soda. This was on special. It's the, can we get the close-up camera there,
good.
Corey?
They are good.
It's the Jarritos Mexican cola. I've never had it before.
Yeah,
this is the
those
first
at Guzman's.
This is the first sip. Guzman's, you say? Well, it's Jarritos. I don't know if it's related to Guzman y Gomez, but let's have a sip. Here we go.
Very good. I think they use cane sugar. That's the gimmick.
Oh.
Yeah, good.
It's exotic.
Yes.
It's nice. Anyway, Barely Touched Him, episode 22. Welcome to the hottest footy podcast in the Perth metropolitan area.
Debatable.
But I've got to address the elephant in the room. I did go on to another podcast.
You did.
Did a bit of espionage. Did a bit of scouting of the competition. I appeared on the Kick It Forward podcast by Josh Garlep.
Very funny boys.
Thank you to those boys for having me. It was very nice. I am joined, of course, I am Benry. I'm joined by Corey and Joel. How are we, lads?
Very good.
Yeah,
Still
good.
somewhat recovering, but good.
You both had big weekends, from what I understand, as did I.
Two different big weekends.
Yes. Well,
but
Corey, you went to a Bucks night.
I did. Yet another one. It seems this year is a never-ending stream of
Well,
Bucks
you're in
and
your
weddings.
early 30s now, aren't you?
Yes.
So it'd be marriage central.
Yeah.
I'm 28, and a lot of my mates are getting married now.
Yeah, I believe there's 5 this year. Been to
goodness
2 so
me.
far.
Jeez.
Yes. Did you get as drunk as Corey did this weekend, Joel?
No, I worked.
Yes.
So I was working, did a private catering gig on the on the Sunday. So all day Saturday was prep as well.
Nice.
But it was nice to absolutely smash it out and then
Yeah.
sit back at the end of it and sink some wine until 2 a.m.
Are you a red or a white man?
Whatever's free, but I was on the red.
Yeah, nice. Yes.
And next minute I looked at the clock and it's like, oh shit, it's 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Even
Probably
in
go
even in the clutches of a good time, we could not escape the glory of the football.
The football happened,
As
didn't
the
it?
game of the year was the centerpiece of the Bucks party.
We have
in the end.
said game of the year a few times, but I feel like this
I don't use
is-
it lightly.
I'll use it lightly. I love to say it when there's been a good game, but this one. Game of the
Game
year.
of the year.
Game of the
Game
year.
of the
We
year.
will get into the Pies v Port game at Adelaide Oval, but we've got a bit of footy news. We have just received hot off the presses tribunal news. Willie Rioli, he is not known as Junior Rioli anymore.
Nope.
The period of mourning is over,
Yes.
et cetera, et cetera. Willie Rioli again slapped Nathan Murphy across his face, was
Yes.
given a 2-week suspension. It has been downgraded as we record this podcast to 1 week. Your immediate thoughts, boys.
Ridiculous.
Tell me why.
Because we've all year, we've seen people cop up to a month for a football action of tackling a man.
Yes.
And this was behind the play hit to the face,
Slap.
and it's 1 week.
Yes. It's striking.
Unbelievable.
It's
Unbelievable.
striking a guy in the head. And
If they want to get rid of this type of stuff from the game, which they've said that they do,
yes.
1 week's not enough.
Yeah, I know. And it's
You can't hit a bloke in the face
Slap.
off the ball.
It's still a strike, Joel.
It's a strike.
It's still a strike. Like, you can fuck someone up with the butt of your hand there,
100%.
open palm. Yeah, absolutely
But
can.
he didn't.
Yeah, but it's still hitting someone in the head with a slap.
Off
like
the ball
It's off the ball.
well.
It's not a footy action. I think
And that's
2
why
weeks.
he got a week.
I think 2 weeks would have been a better punishment. But obviously, the tribunal and the MRO are a shit show, and they don't know what they're fucking doing. There, I said it.
They've proved that time and time again.
Round 1 this year, we were talking about that Cozzy Pickett bump, and I said, I can't believe
That was
that's
a
only
rocket.
2 weeks.
Oh, that was obviously always going to get 2 or 3 weeks.
That should have been 6 to me.
Yeah.
That should
Oh,
have been
yeah.
6. It was absolute, like,
It
one
was
of
a
the
missile.
worst bumps of the year. I still think that's the worst hit of the
It
year.
wasn't a bump. He launched.
He launched at it. He left the ground like a literal missile.
It was
It
a
looked like
fucking cannonball.
It looked like a hit you would see in NFL where they're covered in padding and then the guy doesn't move and dies.
It was comparable to an against the boards hit in the
Yes.
NHL.
Yes.
Just absolutely launching.
And that gets 2 weeks. And now I can see why our dear friend of the pod, Mark Robinson on AFL 360 said, well, Jared, if that gets 2 weeks, then why is this slap getting 2 weeks, Jared? You look at that, and you look at that, and you look at that,
But
Jared.
that's the point.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't add up.
But that's
Jared,
the point.
Doesn't
Not
add
a
up,
lot
Jared.
of things
Robbo-
add up to him.
Not all, there's addition is difficult.
I did see Robbo's little rant, and he said that I think he was of the opinion that it shouldn't be 2 weeks for the slap, but
Yes.
then he went on to point out how much of a farce the whole thing is. So
Yes.
he kind of had the point. but
Yes,
he
he
wasn't
just
quite
needed to
grasping
make that
it.
extra leap
Yeah.
and say, yes, the Pickett one should have been more Robbo. So from round one,
The call's coming from inside the house.
the call's coming from inside the house, and from round one, our scaling of any MRO incident is fucked because
Correct.
that gets 2 weeks. If that's 2 weeks, then nothing is 6.
No.
Nothing is 6 apart from murdering a bloke. So other footy news, Mason Redman, 5-year deal. Good for him.
Mason
Yep.
Cox till the end of 2025.
As well as a few
And
other
Taylor
pies.
Walker with a 1-year extension.
Yeah, I like that. Well, he's in ripper form, Taylor Walker.
He
so,
said it himself. He thought this was going to be his last year.
Yep, and now he's second in the Coleman, I think, or third in the Coleman.
And they
He's doing a
play
great
West
job.
Coast again, so there's a possibility. I've got some trade news,
Yes.
just a little bit.
You are very across the trading podcasts, as we've discussed prior, aren't you, Joel? You listen to a lot of
yeah, I do like
the
it.
journo types, don't
Well,
you?
He's a
unlike
big
you
fan of
guys,
them. We've
Big
found
fan of the journos.
during the week.
Big fan.
This week.
Yes.
Yeah, which one are you alluding to?
All
Well,
of them.
all of them.
You love them.
Yeah.
You love them.
No,
It's
there's-
fine.
there's
You've
one
got
you're
the hot
alluding to.
goss. Give us the goss.
Alrighty, so you've heard of the ruck merry-go-round.
Yes.
We've now got the defender merry-go-round.
The keybacks. They don't get on the merry-go-rounds much, the big boys.
They don't, but I'll tell you what, they're getting around this year.
Yeah.
So Redmond's just signed. That's one off the chopping block.
Yes.
Ben
Yes.
Mackay we're talking about, he's more than likely to leave.
Okay. Now,
And then we talk about the whole compensation for North there, which could get bumped up a bit more than normal to give him the to help him out as an assistant.
because they're
package.
shit, yes.
Yeah.
And they need
And let's
some
be
extra.
honest, the compensation is just a fucked science anyway, that it could be.
Oh, all of trade
Yeah.
science is like fuck to me. Like when you go onto draft days and people are doing pick swaps, I so quickly lose interest in what's happening unless there's a player there.
See,
I'm
I
like, I
love
don't.
it.
Oh, it's a pick swap between these two clubs. Why are you telling me this? Just I would rather not know. Just keep me guessing. But
The big one is Barras.
Yes, I was just going to say this links into my bit of footy news, which is a lot about the Eagles has been reported on today.
Well, we'll
They're
go
saying
through this
Barras is
first.
a done deal. They're saying Barras
Yeah.
is a done deal and he's gone.
He's going to Sydney.
Yep, he's gone. Well, he's
The term I saw was that at this point it's a formality. That
Yeah.
he just has to ink the
It's
ink the
like
paper.
he's in season 1 of Australian Idol and he's just nailed the audition. Tom, you're going to Sydney. You're going to Sydney, and then he shows the little paper there. It's like, I made it. I made the top 100. And then he goes to play for the Swans.
And there's a couple more as well. So Sava Regalia, he's out of contract. Port are all locked in apparently to get him.
Yeah, Porter apparently locked into Grundy as well, if you
And
believe
Zerk
the other
Thatcher.
genotypes.
Zerk Thatcher as well.
Yeah, I forget Zerk Thatcher exists, but he's a good player.
He's a young player as well.
Young player.
Interesting
And a
name.
Silly hyphen name.
Yeah,
and
silly hyphen
often
name. So I'm immediately a fan.
when you give a silly hyphen name player room to grow, they become quite talented. There's a lot of the Cockatoo Collins comes to mind.
Yep.
Great silly hyphenated
Pepper,
name.
who we'll talk about later.
Silly hyphenated name. I think I have a mutual
I
friend
wouldn't call
with
it
him.
silly to his face. He's quite scary.
Oh, he's a nuggety, scary
Yeah.
bloke. Yeah, he's like a very shorter, compressed Jason Statham.
does look a bit squashed, doesn't he?
Yeah, but
Bit compressed.
nuggety is
Yeah.
the term. Yeah, it's full of any other
No,
what
well,
ones
that's
on your
fine
list?
with that, but
That's the
going back to
merry-go-round.
the Eagles.
Yes.
We did hear it. Nisbet will probably get asked to leave as well.
Well,
at the end
this
of
is
year.
another Caro scoop. Caro has said that a clean out is coming and Simo's gone, she said.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that one, but I think Nisbet's gone.
Nisbet, she
Caro.
said Simo's gone, Nisbet's gone. She's saying Hearn and Shuey are def's going to retire, and I think we could have seen Hearn and Shuey coming. That's
Nat
not
Nui, you'd think.
Nat Nui, you would guess. And
Gaff
yeah,
to
they're
be
just
traded.
they're just looking to clean out. But also at the same time, we've had a bit of a Captain America journo civil war because John Ralph reported that Simo's definitely staying.
Yes.
And then Caro comes at him and he says, "No, he's
Who are
gone."
you backing?
I don't care.
I don't care either.
It's
I
Alien
hate-
versus Predator
I
in
hate
this
them all
scenario.
so much
Whoever wins,
that
we
I just
lose.
I don't care.
I'm
Yeah.
backing Caro.
But I think If I'm the Eagles, I'm keeping Barras. I wouldn't trade him. Like, of all,
He's 27.
I'd keep him.
that's not that old in football nowadays.
Is he going to be there for the next premiership?
He could be, yes. He
I'd
absolutely
keep
could
him
be.
and make him captain immediately.
Well, how long's that's exactly what I would say. And
Straight
also,
away.
just because he's not there for the next premiership, it doesn't mean he can't contribute to the
so
rebuild.
if you get 2 first-round picks for him,
Is Sicily going to be there for Hawthorn's next premiership?
2 first-round picks for
Well,
Barras,
I'm not talking about. Is Sicily going to be there for Hawthorn's next premiership?
he might. They're on.
But probably not.
Probably not.
Does that mean Hawthorn should trade Sicily?
No.
No,
but they're not
But
the
he's a
state that Eagles
captain.
are.
He's a key defender.
He's
and
not
he
the
is
captain.
contribute. Yes, he is. Sicily's the captain
Oh, I
of
thought you were
Hawthorn.
talking about Barras.
Yeah, I'm saying this is why Eagles should make Barras captain. When you've got a defender like that in a rebuilding team that's your captain, yes, he doesn't need to win a flag for you. He just needs to steer the ship for the next premiership captain to come along. That's what I think
And,
Barras can do for the
Okay,
Eagles.
the games that the Eagles have played the best, or let's rephrase that, the quarters that they've played the best because they've struggled to put a whole game together. It's
Yes.
off the back of Barras playing
He's the
out
best
of
player
his
in the team.
absolute
He's the best
skin.
player in the team, and I get that they get trade value for him. You
2
would think
first-rounders would be.
it would be. Yeah, look, obviously that's a great get, but I feel like you go from being a half decent. I don't want to say half decent backline because they're getting 180 points kicked on them. But imagine that Eagles backline right now without Barras in it.
Yeah,
That's-
was Barras playing that day?
No.
Against Sydney? I don't think he was.
Well, there you go. That's
Yeah.
what it looks like. That's what it looks like. And they don't really have another key defender option apart from Rhett Bazzo.
No.
And he's not there yet.
No.
He's not going to slot in straight for Barras. So I
they've-
feel like
they've openly
yes,
said-
you've got to move some pieces, but you can't just throw the whole baby
They've
out with the
got no
bathwater.
one else with trade value.
Yeah, well,
that's-
a lot of
no
guys
one-
have trade value these days.
No
you
one
know?
wants to trade Barras. In no one's right mind would they want to, but they're in the state where they've got no other option. There's no other trade value players, so you're stuck with trading Barras.
Maybe we'll come back to this. I'll try and think of some Eagles players with trade value, but I can't think of any off the top of
No.
my head. There's a few good ones, maybe. I don't know. Anyone else got other football news?
Well, what have we got? Ross the boss has given the groundskeepers an absolute spray in the
this is-
presser.
I can't believe I forgot to write this one down.
Yeah.
Ross, it's a vintage Ross the
Yeah.
boss call.
He's
and
back.
it was refreshing.
No more
It
He
was
Cadillac
said,
good.
Ross.
if this was one of the big clubs, would they have left the roof open?
He used the word boutique.
Boutique clubs.
We're
Oh.
a boutique club.
Oh,
apparently.
he said, I thought he was talking about the other. So
No.
he did St Kilda was boutique.
How many members does St Kilda have?
55.
55.
1,000.
Yeah.
All right.
So they're middle of
They're
the
mid-
table,
middle
I
of
guess.
There's
the middle of the
definitely worse.
road.
Yeah, there's worse, but there is also better.
Well, I was 'cause
Boutique
when he
isn't the word
when
I
he said
describe.
that, I was of the mind like, well, they're one of the oldest, biggest clubs.
They're a foundation.
In
They're a
the league.
foundation
what-
VFL club.
It's not like you're bloody a nobody.
Yeah.
It was a
I-
very strange thing to say.
And also, like, I get that there is the argument about the Marvel turf, like it doesn't drain as well as the MCG. I've been hearing a lot this
Yeah.
week.
No, it
this
doesn't.
I believe that when they say that, but also,
He called it an ice skating rink.
you know, it's the
And
same
a
for
bar of soap.
it's the same for both teams. Like, I don't understand what Ross is complaining about here. Yes, I get it. If you have a roof, you should probably close it when there's rain, but it's done now.
Yeah.
They fucked up. Like, it's not
But
the
he brought,
first
he
time.
brought the fans into it too. He said the seats were wet.
Yeah.
Oh,
seats
that's
were
true.
wet for the
I would be a
fans.
bit pissed off with that if
So
the
if you,
seats-
if
the
you
seats
rolled
were-
up to your seat and went,
Yeah.
oh, it's a bit,
It's a bit fucking wet. I'm going home. I'm
Jesus.
not going to the footy
They
anymore.
could have put the bloody roof on.
I think that Ross is funny and right to a certain degree, but also it does make St Kilda look like whinging, people. at the
Especially
end of
after
the day.
they almost lost.
They almost lost to North. We will get to that. I don't think I have anything else apart from Ashcroft,
Ashcroft,
ACL,
blew the
Trez
ACL.
up, and Nick Murray ACL. Really good key defender he's been
Well, with
this year for the
Ashcroft
Crom.
out now, that really makes the Rising Star race interesting.
I don't think it does. He's
It does.
played
I think
fucking.
he could still win it, to
His
be
body,
honest.
of, his body of work is
But
enough
it
to win
gives
it.
the others a chance.
Maybe, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
I
can't say it
think I think it's late enough where
I
he
think
could
it's
still
almost
win it.
like winning a posthumous Oscar. Like, you have to give it to him now. Like, it's like
Oh,
giving
yeah,
Heath
yeah.
Ledger the Oscar for the
So
Dark Knight.
it's raised his stocks.
It's raised his stocks
Yeah, I
for
like
me.
that. I
Because
like
he
that.
goes down, he is Heath Ledger,
Yeah.
he dies / does his ACL,
Yes.
and then you have to give it to Ashcroft, and he plays
Yeah,
the
I
Joker.
like that.
You
Yep.
know, should we get into the results for this round,
Let's have a
Joel?
look.
And we'll
I
go
think we
through one
should.
by one. Again, we've all had busy weekends, so we might whiz through these a bit more than usual. We've all had things to see, people to do. Off you go, Joel.
Things to see people do.
Yes.
Love it. Alrighty, so starting with the Friday night game, you had the Bulldogs getting up on the Bombers by 41 points.
Yes, I was in and out of watching this one. Libba, incredible. Bont, fantastic.
Bont,
Wow.
crazy good.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
The Dogs using the legs to run the ball.
They've got a lot of nice pins on that
which
team
is
as
something
well.
that they've been struggling.
And they've
to
had
do.
the number on the Bombers for
Yep.
a long, long time.
I think it's like 9 out of their last 10 or
Yeah.
something to
It's
that effect.
something
Bombers.
stupid.
The Bombers are looking, to my mind, a bit similar to Freo at the moment. That they're just a bit tired,
Yep.
a bit listless. You could
Yes.
say.
And then who went down? It was it Ridley or that went down with injury? Their defender, Don's
Yeah,
defender. I think it
Ridley-
was Ridley.
Ridley went out.
Huge out. Huge out.
very late in the game as well, which was
Yeah.
unfortunate. So, it's one of those ones where it's a bit of a waste.
Next game, whizzing,
game.
quick
Whiz.
pace.
Alrighty, so this game was a cracker. Richmond knocking over the Hawks by 1 point.
Man,
This was a cracker, and
Hawks were up 36 points at one point in the last quarter. How they lost this?
yeah, look, Richmond have got a bit of dog about them at the
They're
moment.
up by 5 goals at 3/4 time.
Yeah, they've Richmond. I feel very well placed to make a charge into the 8. They've got the talent to do it. They've got the belief. I quite like Andrew McWalter as a coach. He seems like he's very switched on.
Apparently, he's all but assured the job now.
I'd rate it. I
would too. I'm just saying,
consistency's good, and I like it backing a caretaker coach in. I feel like it doesn't happen as much as it should. I thought Robert Harvey did a good job with the Pies when he took over. But yeah, also I think that Hawthorn played really well despite choking and giving up this lead.
Yeah.
I again call back to Damien Barrett saying that Hawthorn. He somehow said that Hawks, North, and Eagles like they were bringing the competition into disrepute after like 5 games into the season because I don't think Hawks are good. They're not going to get any better. They're not going to win any games this year. Like this is really, what does this mean for the competition? I'm not saying they're tanking, but are they taking? It's just classic like Damien Barrett doublespeak. Hawks have really challenged like a lot of sides.
Yeah, they have.
They've beaten the Saints. Love bringing that up. And now they've genuinely challenged against a really good Richmond side and only come up short by a point.
Yeah, I think that if they just had a little bit more experience, perhaps in their with their players in terms of age and whatnot, they would have brought that home quite easily.
Yes.
And another note is Taranto kicking 3 goals and having 23 touches.
Just
that's,
smoky for Brownlow, but if Nick Dacos didn't exist.
No, but he
yeah.
would still give him a, at least a bit of a challenge.
Oh, forgot. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Next game.
Next game, so Carlton taking on the Eagles, and they got up by 71 points.
Yep. Didn't watch this one. No Charlie kicked
I
10.
watched bits and pieces of it, but
Yep.
yeah, just. I mean, what do you say?
What can you say?
Charlie
What
Curno's
can you
kicked
say?
19 goals against the Eagles this year.
I was at the game where he
crazy.
kicked 9.
So
And to
Tex
follow up
Walker,
with 10.
Tex Walker would be fuming, but
No, Tex Walker gets to play the
play
Eagles.
them again. That's what I was about
You've
to
got
say.
to kick
yeah.
12.
Yeah,
You've got to
he's
kick 12.
He's got to.
He has to do it.
He's got to. So he can realistically get to 80, you would think.
What's
he on now?
Fucking high. He's on 61, I think,
Yeah,
now.
he can get to 80.
Thereabouts.
That'd be the highest in some years.
It'd be a while since we've had someone
Yeah.
get near 80.
So here's another bit. You got Harry Mackay, who's out injured.
Yes.
He's commanding $1 million a year,
Yep.
and that's a lot of the salary cap.
Yes.
Could you possibly put him on the trade table?
I
would.
would. Honestly,
100%.
if I was
Harry
if I was
Mackay's been
Carlton, I would.
shithouse.
I think that he would benefit from being in another team. I think that Carlton would benefit from just having Charlie Curnow as
That's
the
what I'm
solo
thinking.
forward. I think, honestly, I wouldn't mind him at the Pies.
Yeah.
I would not mind him in
I
that
think
forward
he'd be a
line.
great addition. to
He'd
the
be a
forward line.
very good fit.
Mackay, I think the problem with Mackay is he's struggled to be the second up guy.
Yes.
Like he's not versatile enough to do it.
Yep.
But if he can go somewhere where he is the number
the
one,
premium forward.
then he might be a bit better.
Honestly, the more I think about it, the more Collingwood would make sense for
That'd be
him.
good, yeah.
Like if we buy out a bit of his contract and maybe Carlton pay a bit of it off to a bit of tit for tat. Somehow you make a deal that works for both teams. I can imagine like him thriving under McRae, like really, really thriving.
Yeah, and it would help Carlton out because that salary cap pressure.
I would imagine if he went to the
definitely
Pies,
gone.
they'd expect him to do a bit of what Mason Cox does and take 15 hit-outs a game, which I don't know if he... Is Mackay any good at taking small
why would
hit-outs?
they
How hard could
expect
it be? How hard could it
Just
be?
the way that they play, they
You throw your
forces that big
hand
man
at
in.
it. How hard's rucking at the end of the day, really? It's
Mason made it look pretty fucking hard.
He made it look very difficult. Made it look very
A few
difficult.
more things out of this game was the injuries. So Silvani, Motlop, and Sam Walsh.
Yeah, Walsh is a
Walsh.
huge one.
Walsh going out with the hamstring was big.
Shuey as well. You expect it. He's done.
Carlton do have midfield depth. They've got a lot of guys in the twos that can slot into that midfield.
It's also guys that are coming back. So Cripper, he was out.
They've got to start playing Paddy Dow, who has been tearing it up in the VFL
But
this year.
he's out. He's been traded. They don't want him clearly at the club.
If they, yes, maybe at the end of the year, but now if you've got these injuries, Paddy Dow, you've got to play him. You have to play him. Like the
tell
kid
Voss
can't.
right
the
now.
kid can't do any more. He is chopping up in the VFL. He's probably going to win the. Almost definitely going to win the
You're going
best.
to come
and
out
fairest.
another coach for another player named Paddy to be played.
Yeah.
He
Oh
likes
well.
his patties.
I'm going to start a club for adopting paddies. How many paddies are there in the AFL?
Can we make our
Let's
best-
research that later. I'll find them all and
Best
take them
22
under
of
my wing. I'll
paddies.
have a little orphanage.
Well, you
and-
could liaise with the president of the AFLPA, Paddy Dangerfield, on that
Oh,
one.
of course. He's the best paddy. Yeah. He's president of the Paddy Union. And we'll look it up.
Can you make a video about your best 22 patties?
Oh, there's a lot. At the top of my head, I'm trying to think of other...
Paddy McCartan?
Paddy
Recently
McCartan. These are all great players.
You
These
can
are
have
all...
a lot of fun with this.
Yes. Next game. I'm going down a Paddy rabbit hole.
Next game, which involves
I'll throw
Paddy
you in the
Dangerfield.
paddy
I've
wagon.
got some world news about Paddy's later
Okay,
on, by the
we'll
way.
get
You
to
mean
that, yeah.
meaning a slur for Irish people, Corey?
Correct.
You fucking bigot. Go on, Joel.
Alrighty, so Brisbane knocking over the Cats by 11 points at the Gabba.
Yes.
Yeah, look,
Didn't watch this one.
Geelong's gone from being very scary in recent times to looking a little bit hairy, let's say.
Perhaps. Well, cats do have hair.
They looked bad. They looked very bad.
How did my boy Grind do? I didn't watch.
As in, compared to Messi grind.
Compared to
It
Messi,
was
how
very-
did my boy
it was-
Lionel
It was
Messi?
messy-like.
Yes. Was he scanning the field from all angles?
Have you seen that? Did you see that he's taken a hold of it? He's owning the Messi
Yeah, you
tag.
got to. You got to. There was people holding up Argentine flags next to
Yeah.
him, and he was taking photos with them. It's very good.
One of the most beautiful things was Messi kicked a game-winning goal for whatever the American
Miami,
team into
yes.
Miami. I watched the clip of it. It's actually
It's
quite
a banger
good.
of
It's
a free
banger of a
kick.
free
Yes,
kick.
yes.
And there's like 20,000 comments on this video on Reddit. And I was just scanning through them like, yeah. And there's one guy like, yeah, he's no Brian Myers though. Fantastic.
I would have
Fantastic.
upvoted that if I saw it. Absolutely, yes.
There was actually a grab on SEN, like they showed it when on Waitley's show,
Yes.
and it was some British UK, like I don't know where they were. I think it was British
Yep.
radio show talking about the celebrity crush, and someone said Jared Waitley,
Oh,
and
yes.
I'll find the grab. I don't know what the name was.
Jared's
No.
a type. Jared is absolutely a type.
And,
I can
and she
see.
said, yeah, Jared was her type, and Robbo.
I think there'd be a
made
lot of
him
gay
look-
dudes that are into Jared, like as a a little
This
chick was into
older
Jared.
twink sort of
The
type.
older twink,
older
that type,
twinks are
yeah,
a market.
yeah.
There's a huge
Yeah,
market
is
for
that
it.
an otter? No, an otter is something
Otter is
different.
like a hairless, skinny guy, isn't it? Or
Well,
there's
that's
so
what a
many
twink is.
sub-variants
I think an
of gay.
otter is an older version of a twink.
Maybe Jared's an otter.
Yeah.
Maybe he's an otter. He can break a clam on his belly. Yes. We love you, Jared.
He'll
we
hold
we
hands with
absolutely
you
love
while you're floating in the
from
ocean.
all angles.
It's otters from all angles. I'm in the Perth Zoo stinking up the joint.
Homosexual relationships from all angles.
He's never coming on the pod now. He's never coming on. This is next game, Joel.
Next game, Sydney knocking over Freo at Perth.
Yeah,
In Perth, yeah.
big F for Freo.
Sean Darcy gone. Fife gone.
Gone.
They looked like they didn't want to be there.
Yep, and it's maybe they don't want to be there.
Yeah, I think they know the season's
The season's
done.
over. Sydney are kind of hot at the minute. You can see this coming a mile away.
And we can repeat the sound like a broken record and say it about every team up to about Sydney, but they can make a charge.
They can make a charge. Hey, it's a log jam at the minute. There's barely anything in it. We've heard
a lot of 8-point games.
A lot of 8-point games. Yes, it's anyone's. You'd hate to finish ninth. All
There's
this shit.
a lot of articles coming out, especially in the West, about Freo now, saying West Coast being as dog shit as they are is perhaps shielded Freo from the scrutiny
I think it has
quite dog shit as well.
It definitely has. It's such a disappointing season from them to go from.
They've had flashes of
It's they've been very brief games.
I wouldn't even say they've had flashes.
Well, the win against Geelong at home was
game
huge.
was a
One
highlight.
game,
The
yeah.
Geelong game was a highlight, and they had a really good away one, didn't they? As well. Who did they beat away? I forget.
They have had a couple.
It's like 2 or 3 good games where they've looked like a good modern AFL football team. And the rest
immediately
just
goes away a week later.
Painfully underwhelming, and you feel for their fans after the flag-mantle charge of last season. To go from that to this, it's just like what have you changed?
The bright side of that is they do have the personnel to just crack straight back into it next year rather. I mean, Sean Darcy is Joel's getting past
I think
me.
Joel has to poop, but that's fine. That's fine. I'll read out the results.
Sean Darcy will be back. They've got a lot of good young players that are legitimately ready and good. So I think next year they'll crack straight back in.
I think there's a chance. There's a chance. And next we had the game of the year candidate at the Adelaide Oval. It was Port Adelaide going down by 2 points to the mighty Pies.
Incredible.
What a fucking game this was.
Jamie Elliott, eat your bloody heart out.
My God, I know. It was... Again, how many times this year have we been down at three-quarter time and I'm not worried about it?
No.
I'm not...
Well, I was at a Bucks party and there was 40-odd blokes there.
Yeah.
And Port was up at three-quarter time and everyone was like, kind of,
how you feeling?
I'm like,
it's
no,
fine.
this is good.
I wish I was stressed. I actually wish I was stressed.
I prefer it that we're down.
Yeah, no.
Because that means we're definitely going to win.
It's just that I never write the team off in my head.
No.
And that's just so foreign to the Collingwood I've known throughout my entire life. I've been expecting us to choke. And when we get to the finals, it's going to start really playing on my mind. Like when are we going to fuck it? When are we going to fall on our asses?
This is the perfect game to alleviate that fear because it was
If we lose this grand final, I'm committing seppuku. I'm committing seppuku.
This was the hardest that any team had pushed to get the Pies off balance and off of that style that they have relentlessly played all year, and we still won.
Away in the wet
against bigger bodies.
The way they were doing it from a coaching standpoint, whether you believe who was really pulling the strings coaching tactics-wise for Port, is it Hinkley? Is it Carr? It's probably Carr. Carr was leaving Port on a lot of occasions with 6 forwards in their forward line and not pushing them to the contest, making the Collingwood back six accountable for them.
Yes.
And not a lot of coaches have tried to do that for extended game periods this year, and it was working. It was working because how did Collingwood start their counter-attacking play and start this running, handball receiving, transition style of footy? Extra men, many extra men to the contest, whether it's half forwards, whether it's half back. They just push men to wherever the ball is and just try and blitz the opposition. Port have made them accountable, saying, all right, you can do that if you want. We're keeping 6 forwards forward of the ball. We are going, and so they've had to play a lot of one-on-ones.
Yeah, and they were trapped.
It was a very interesting matchup.
They were trapped in their back half more than they have been all year.
Yeah, and
it was crazy.
Yet somehow they find a way to win, and it was through clutch goal kicking. That's how it ended up happening. It wasn't a tactical masterclass. I watched an interview with Craig McRae on SEN today saying that the only real tactical thing he remembered saying to the boys at three-quarter time was their kick to handball ratio wasn't that good. He said, I think we were one kick to 3 handballs and Port were the other way around. He's like, look, that's why they're beating us in metres gained. Just kick the ball a bit more, boys. You know what to do. You know what to fucking do. And they did. They kicked the ball a bit more and got the ball forward, and you can't really coach converting like that.
No.
It's all mental.
No,
the Dacos goal, the Josh Dacos
Yeah.
goal, the Elliott 2 goals.
From the
that's
same spot.
From the same spot.
all three of those
in
goals.
the wet, far 45, 50 metres out on the boundary line. That's as good of a set shot as you'll ever kick.
How he can continue to get these clutch goals is incredible.
It's fucking wild. He's such a. We're so blessed to have him in the team.
The pump up that he had after he kicked that goal, like unreal, just
It was
unreal.
I loved watching it. I
Yeah,
did.
it was great.
I
It
chucked
was
up
great.
I chucked up a TikTok video of just me commentating the game, filming my screen. I just do that when there's a close AFL game. I've been doing that a fair bit, and it helped that. In the back of my mind, I knew we were going to come back and win. So I'm just not stressed at all and enjoying the call. Speaking of calls, on a little tangent.
Yes.
Commentated the game of footy this weekend.
Yes, I did see this.
Subiaco Colts versus Perth Demons
Now,
Colts.
there was a couple of moments.
There was
a
some
hanger,
stoushes. There was a hanger from Malachi Champion,
which is
and
a fantastic
I've only just
name.
found out, and I found out that this kid Malachi, he plays in the Subiaco Colts team. He's only 16 years old.
Jesus Christ!
This kid is a gun. I've commentated a few of his games now. Come on back in, Joel. He's ineligible to be drafted this year because he's too young.
Yeah, too young.
This kid, if he keeps this up, will be snatched up by AFL teams. He's a small forward type. He's got a huge leap on him, loves a goal. He was starting a few fights on the weekend. There was a few stoushes, but he took this grab on the wing. It was right in front of me and fucking launched up on this guy's shoulders, comes back onto the ground after this hanger and immediately hands the ball off to a running player. It was
I
amazing.
will say your call of it was quite good.
Thank you, mate. Thank you
was
very
very
much. Next game, Joel. Next game after the Collingwood one.
Next game was Giants knocking over the Suns by 40 points.
I did watch this game.
Disappointing.
was-
for
But
me.
your boy,
Yeah, he top scored with the disposals. 30.
Sammy Flanders.
I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, we will
Yeah.
get into it more in Adopt Your Boy, but he's been in
He's
good
going from
form,
strength
Sammy.
to strength.
Another one who is in good form for the Suns, Mac Andrew, had another nice game down back.
Yep.
But the back six from GWS won this game. It was Sam Taylor, Buckley,
Himmelberg.
all these guys had a ripper job.
he's out
and-
of contract, I think. Himmelberg.
Yeah, Himmelberg. There's been trade talk about him all year, and most teams would love to have him. I actually heard the Pies floated as a potential spot for Harry Himmelberg.
Did hear that about a month or so ago, but I mean, it's
gone
all speculation,
quiet, the news
isn't it?
on him.
Yes. Next game.
Next game, we really don't want to talk about that, do we?
No, well, look, we're whizzing through them. We're whizzing through them.
Melbourne knocking over the Crows by 4 points. This one
Yeah.
was interesting.
Well, my boy Paddy,
Melbourne-
we'll talk
Melbourne
about it
was
more in Adopt
very-
Your Boy,
Melbourne
didn't end
were
up
very
playing.
clean.
Very clean. An entertaining game of footy.
Yep.
Unfortunate about Rankin with the hamstring. I thought he was one of the best players on the ground
And
in this
Nick
game.
Murray as well.
Yeah, Nick Murray doing his ACL.
To my mind, that was the death knell for the Crom Dom.
Yes.
The Crom Dom has been
The
taken
Crom,
off.
it's
been discarded. It's been flushed.
It's been. Have you got any sad music, Corey? I don't think we have any sad music, do we?
I should get a sad one.
This is direct inspo from Kick It Forward because they've got so many sound effects and they love the sad music. So maybe we'll incorporate that for a bit of inspo later on.
All I've
but
got
just
is,
imagine, dear listener, if that wasn't a fart and it was a sad music, as I talk about.
I've got a sad fart.
That is a sad fart.
That's a
If
sad-
anything, that sounds more cheeky, like it's a cheeky fart. But Crom, it's been an amazing season for them.
Look, I feel like you gaslighted me in at the start of the season into expecting.
I
more.
got you right onto the Crom
You did.
bandwagon.
I got
a
on
lot.
there.
I'd like to think I got a lot of people onto the Crom bandwagon. And look, they gave it a crack.
They did.
They gave it a red hot crack. Unfortunately, this year is not the year for the Crom. Next year, I'll be backing them in to make the
That's
eight
not a
again.
bad thing either, I don't think. They had a lot of young players that developed well this year and they just ran out of steam.
Yeah, with where their list is at as well, I think there's a lot of young talent that they've got in the twos ready to go. And also, I thought Crouch actually had a really good game coming into the midfield
I
this
think he
weekend.
leaves at the end of the year.
I think he
though.
does,
He
but
wants to play
that was a
games.
good little showing out for clubs that want to pick him up.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
He got 30 odd touches. And was
In
that
a
what was
loss,
the
that
what
was
was the
typical.
other game of the round? It was
So
one
last
more?
game of the round.
Oh
was
yes.
the Saints winning by 8 points over North Melbourne.
Oh goodness me!
abysmal.
This was a hell of a game to watch. because I had a $5 multi riding on it. When we do our tips, I chuck a $5 multi on my tips every week.
Love that.
It's not gotten up yet. This was the closest it came because I got 8 out of 9 in the tips, and I tipped North in this game.
Yeah, as did I.
What was it paying?
It was paying $5. It was paying $789. That would have been the payout.
Yeah,
I cashed out a bit after half time and got a little bit of a tidy profit. But
Good, smart cash out.
I really wanted to ride this home. I couldn't do it in the end. North did admirably. I thought their back six, much like Adelaide's, were dogged. Aiden Core had a ripper game. Ben Mackay had a great game. Luke Davies-Uniacke, he's back. He's fucking back.
He kind of faded away throughout the middle a little bit. He started very strongly this year.
Yeah, he got injured.
He did.
Now I think it's safe to say he's well and truly back. He can get some good
But
games
it was
of form.
the same Saints players that normally would put players on their back and get it done. Steele,
Yes.
Marshall, Windhager had
Marshall
30.
up forward was huge at the end.
That was needed.
I think he saved the game. He really did.
Windhager, just lazy 30 for him.
Yep, very nice. I picked him up off the bargain bin in fantasy as well.
Sinclair, what you expect. And my favourite, Machito Owens.
Machito. How many did he get?
2 goals, 1 and 17 touches.
Very
12
nice from
contested.
Machito. Very nice from Machito. So now that we've gone through the results, we're going into the MVP voting. And of course, first is a foregone conclusion. We know Nick Dacos is going to win it. But the race for second, and third, the bronze medal is just as important, is really hot. It's anyone's game.
Yeah.
So I'll start with my votes this week. And yet again, this is very cobbled together as I didn't watch all of the games. But I gave them all a bit of a once-over, watched the minis and looked at the stats. For one vote, I am going from the North Melbourne Footy Club, Aiden Core. Great
Lovely.
performance from a key back. He was mobile. He was taking the game on. He stepped a bloke at one point. I forget who it was, but in the last quarter, had the ball in the right back pocket. And the guy on the mark is just thinking, oh, well, I can just corral this big lumbering key defender and he's not going to do anything. Aiden Core shows him the footy and then just fucking breaks his ankles and the guy goes down. He steps and moves
Aiden Core
forward.
giveth and Aiden Core
He
taketh away.
taketh away. I wonder if he's a fan of the band The Cause.
Oh.
Leave me
okay.
breathless. 21 disposals, 8 marks, 4 spoils, and 1 score involvement. 1 vote for you, Aiden. Go on. 2 votes.
Jesus Christ.
Harris Andrews, another defender.
Never do that again.
12 disposals. 91% efficiency. 10 spoils and 2 score involvements.
Huge game for him.
Important yet again for Brisbane's defence. He's having a great year, and I just love Big Harris.
And he's moved up into the number 1 in the league for intercept marks between.
I think Noah Bolter has. I think Noah.
Incorrect.
I think Noah Bolter is number
Incorrect.
1. Okay, well,
Between the arcs?
between the arcs.
Between the
Okay,
arcs,
well,
and
I didn't hear that bit.
Harris Andrews pushed up in this game.
Yes.
He wasn't all the way down back. He was allowed to be pushed up, and that's why he's moved up.
He's excelling there. 3 votes, another defender. 1 Darcy Moore.
Lovely.
20 disposals, 11 spoils, 9 intercept possessions, and 2 score involvements. Again,
What do you say?
a lock for all Australian key defender, wherever you want to chuck
Lock
him.
for the
Centre half
captain.
back is a lock for the captain. You would think
would
so.
think.
You would think so. 4 votes. Luke Davies-Uniacke.
Yeah,
he was amazing. There were times where I thought he was going to win the game off his own boot. I thought he was comfortably the best player on the ground in that game. And 5 votes. Another defender. It's Defender City in
My
these
God.
votes. Sam Taylor of the GWS Giants.
Okay.
15 disposals, 9 intercept possessions at 100% efficiency.
Oh, love that.
15 spoils, 3 score involvements, 10 marks. He ate
He had
this.
leather poisoning, wouldn't he?
He ate this Gold Coast attack up. They could not do anything when he was near the drop of the ball. I think he's a very underrated player and deserves all the accolades. You boys, Joel, give
It's a great top 5.
your votes.
Big fan.
Alrighty, so mine, with 1 vote, I go Marcus Bontempelli. 29 touches, 2 goals, 2, the 11 marks.
One of those 2 goals was incredible, by the way.
He's putting the team on his back. Him and Libba were fucking awesome.
Always are, yeah.
Yeah.
2 votes, Taranto.
Yes.
So 23 touches, 3 goals, 8 tackles.
Bont and Taranto, definite features in our.
they're up
You'd
there.
think they're locked for top 5 of our count.
Bont's second.
Bont is second at the minute.
Alrighty, so 3 votes. Jack Steele, 33 touches and a goal.
Yes, I had a feeling you were going to give Jackie Steele some votes. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
4 votes.
Corey's shaking his head.
How can you give votes to anyone in that team?
I would agree, but you
That
knew it was
is
going to happen.
unbelievable.
You knew it was going to happen. 4 votes, Joel. 4 votes.
Charlie Curnow.
Yep.
I know
yep.
it was against the Eagles, but he kicked
I
10.
know. No, I wanted to give him some as well. But
Monty's rolling in his grave.
I was
He's not
very-
even dead and he's still rolling.
I was very defensive minded in my top 5 this week, but Charlie had a blinder. It's 10 goals.
It's 10 goals.
It's a bag of 10.
And 5 votes. Willem Drew for the job he did on Josh Dacos.
Nick Dacos, you mean?
That one.
Yes.
16 tackles.
Yep. Look,
16
pretty
touches.
good.
I wouldn't have given him 5, but I understand. I understand the pick.
Yeah, not
Corey, your top 5?
We've got Canelio with 1 vote.
Ooh.
29 disposals, 1 goal. Very good.
Italiano.
Sam Pepper, 2 votes. The Cannonball.
Huge.
And Nugget.
The Nuggets.
He
yes.
was massive.
He reminds me
He
of
was massive.
Volkanovski.
He does a little
he
bit.
does have a bit of the Volk body.
and
Yeah,
I think
big time.
he perfectly encapsulated how Port was bringing it to the Pies.
Yes.
It was him. If they were all him, then
I saw this. Sorry to sidetrack you, Corey. I saw this really bad Carlton fan podcast rock up on my TikTok feed, and these boys were
Unless they
saying
listen.
Sam Pepper was shit. No, I would not want to interact with these guys. They're a bunch of older guys, and it was like
okay.
some Blue Baggers pod or something.
Yeah, we don't like
And
that.
they were just ripping on Sam Pepper, saying he was
How?
a shit player, and
He's
they
the
hated
best.
him. I'm like, what? Do you even watch football? Their arguments were not football
He's
related at all.
fantastic.
They were just a bunch of old Carlton fans.
to my mind, he's the
that were
front runner to
salty
be
about
the
Sam
Port
Pepper.
captain next year.
I would agree. I
Yeah.
absolutely agree. So, yeah, random Carlton podcast. You're wrong. You don't know anything. You're nuffies. You don't know shit. Go on, Corey.
3 votes. LDU.
Can we start a feud with another podcast?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We'll start a blood feud.
Oh,
LDU.
mate, I can get into him on the social media. Don't worry about that.
Oh, look, we'll rage tag him.
4 votes. Harris Andrews.
Yeah, I like that we've both given Harris.
Fantastic
yes.
game.
Yes.
Fantastic game. And I mean, he's an ex-All-Australian fullback.
Yeah,
you know.
people forget how much of a lock he had on the All-Australian
Yeah,
fullback
he's huge.
position for a few years.
And 5 votes. Jamie Elliott.
Yeah, look,
Gotta give it to him. 3 goals. 2 from that exact same spot, and 1
He won the
absolute
game.
clutch.
He won the game
Fan-
of his own boot in that last quarter.
Fantastic. Incredible. There it is.
Good, very good. And Monty's votes to round us out there, Joel.
Alrighty, so 1 vote to... I'm going to guess it's Cosy Pickett.
Why would you guess? Has he not?
Not had a first name.
Oh,
Who's
well,
the only
yeah,
Pickett
it's
at
not
the
going to pick
moment?
Marlon Pickett. So yes,
No, yeah,
it'll be
Cosy.
Cosy Pickett. Yes.
Cosy, yeah. So 1 vote to Cosy Pickett, 2 votes to Steel Sidebottom,
Oh yes,
Oh.
very good off the wing. Yes.
3 votes to Calamachi,
Oh yeah, Archie was good. Yes.
4 votes LDU,
Yes.
and 5 votes to Libba.
Oh, I like that, Monty. Again, diverse top 5s, and it makes the count a bit interesting
Yeah, that's
with
good.
the guys. I think Harris Andrews might be getting up there a little bit.
Yeah, he could
We've
be.
given him a few.
Could be,
It could be top 25
Could be.
territory.
Yeah, he'd be creeping up.
perhaps. So after that, we go into the flagship segment of the Barely Touched Him podcast. It is, of course, Adopt Your Boy. Don't know why I did that. My boy, Paddy Parnell. Boys, it's been a very emotional roller coaster of a weekend in the boy department,
got okay?
in the family.
He wasn't picked, then he was picked, and then he was not picked.
No, he got picked. He got named. First of all, in the extended squad, I was like, "Oh my god, is he going to get named?"
Yeah.
because they do the extended squad with the extended bench before they do the real squad, and then he got listed as in. Paddy Parnell in playing. I went, "Holy shit!" I sent my boy a message. I went, "Great, awesome job, Paddy. You've been killing it in the twos.
I did see that.
Great job, man. So happy you're getting picked. Hope you boys get a win at the G." He said, "Thanks, mate," and chucked an emoji in there. So
Good.
we've got a rapport. We've
Good.
got a rapport, Paddy and I. And then, as I go to turn the game on, where I'm on the couch, I've cracked a beer, I'm ready to see my boy rack up with what we can only assume would have been 37 disposals at 100% efficiency, 17
we
goal
can only
assists,
assume.
8 inside 50s and a bag of goals, which
And they've hit you with the
that would have happened.
laid out.
Would have happened. Laid out with illness. And
Illness.
this is another
indiscriminate illness.
Okay. I'm going to guess it was cold and flu because fucking half of Australia's got cold and flu at the moment.
They do.
Did you ask him?
I didn't ask, but I did send him a condolence message saying, mate, get well soon. It sucks that you were laid out. Hope you get straight back into the ones next week. And he said, thanks, mate.
Yeah.
So, it's a tough week. We're gonna. There's no real lessons to take from it. There's no stats that I have from my adopted boy, and it was also a tough week for my adopted father, Ben Brown. He played in the Melbourne game, but he got subbed out. He got the tactical sub out, the dreaded tactical sub. After
He just doesn't quite fit in there
after
at the moment.
5 disposals.
I've always had issues with that forward line of who's
5
the best
disposals
mix.
he got. It's and 1 tackle. Not the best stat line from Big Benny. I think he should grow the afro back. I think he should.
That's a good idea.
Like he's Samson in
Yeah.
the Bible, and he's lost his powers
Delilah's
because he's
gotten
cut
to
his
him.
hair. Delilah, hey there, has gotten to him, made him
Can we
shave
chuck in
off
a
to the
religious
chrome dome.
tag into this podcast because
We
are.
can talk religion, absolutely.
No, I'm
Delilah's
saying
got in
we
his
should
ear.
talk anymore.
So Delilah's gotten in Benny Brown's ear.
He's
and
gotten
said-
rid of the fro.
He's got rid of the fro,
the strange
and now
stew fro.
he's gone out of the Coleman medal race, and that's
Was he ever in it?
He nearly won a Coleman one year.
No, but I mean, this year was he in it?
No, he wasn't in it this
No.
year. No, he wasn't. He wasn't. But that's not his fault. It's Delilah's fault, whoever she may be.
Who is Delilah?
She's
a Jezebel.
Jezebel is a different woman.
Yeah, that's true.
That's if you're talking biblical characters.
Jesus.
Delilah, Joel, is in a biblical story. Samson is a famous warrior whose power derives from his long hair. He shacks up with Delilah, who is a beautiful little strumpet of a thing, and she convinces him
Strumpet.
to cut his hair off because
Well,
she's
there's-
working
there's another-
for the enemy.
There's another note to the. There's a
yeah.
deeper note to the story.
Yeah, go on.
She's continually trying to find out what the power of his strength is,
and yeah,
and he
she's, yeah.
he tells her bullshit ones
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 times,
It's just the wheat bix, honey.
and
It's
she
just
double crosses him.
Yeah.
So he says like, "Oh, if you do this random thing to me, then my strength is." And he wakes up and she's done it, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Why have you done that?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry."
She's such a bad spy.
So he lets her double cross him like 5 times, and then he actually tells her the real one, and
So
she does
he's
it.
also a fucking idiot.
He's a fuck- he's a
Samson,
fuckwit.
Samson's a fucking idiot. So he cuts
But hey,
cuts his hair off,
Bet
and
that
then
pussy real good.
we can only assume if he kept telling her the secrets, then that's.
What do you reckon he told her secrets wise? Like, hey, if you wake up,
If you just have sex with me a bunch of times, I get real bad at fighting. Good thing that's never going to happen.
you
Anyway,
wouldn't do it.
go to your boys. I have no more stats for my boys. Let's go to
Sammy Flanders.
Sammy Flanders did play AFL football this
He
weekend.
topped the
Corey's
stat
boy.
sheet for disposals, 31 disposals.
Fantastic.
Even though the Suns went down, as we spoke about
He's
before.
out of contract as well, so he's just
He is.
boosting up that next
He
one.
is.
Should come to
looks
West
great.
Coast.
He looks fantastic.
Oh, he's
getting better and better.
Looks more handsome every time I,
I
see
think
him.
with the revolving door with injury and whatnot at the Suns, or perhaps not the revolving door, but just with Took Miller out,
Yes.
was the perfect catalyst, let's say, to get Sammy in there.
And a
He's
new coach
looking
as well.
fantastic.
Yep. Yes.
He's looking fantastic, and we love to see him do what he does.
And your father.
Ryan Lester, I don't have the stats on him, but I did see him be quite an important player.
And
in
also,
there.
I think David King might have given him a shout out on first crack.
he
and
actually
said he
did.
did a great job. I was like, I was
did-
watching it,
I
and
did
Leo
the Le-
DiCaprio.
I did the Leo DiCaprio
Ryan
move.
Lester.
Oh.
Ryan Lester.
Oh, there he is. David King knows who he is.
It's like the opening of Pokemon Ruby / Sapphire, where your dad's on the TV. It's like, get in, Corey, quick! It's Ryan Lester. You got to come look. Oh, you just missed him. David King was talking about it on first crack. You got to go and pick your first Pokemon now.
Mate, David King's had a good week.
I love
He's
God. We
had a-
love
he's
David
had a
King.
good week this
he has.
week.
He has.
He's
had a
thrown
great,
out some
when
good
does
ones.
he not have a good
No,
week,
that's true.
David King?
That's
We
true.
fucking love David King.
I can't believe I used to be a hater.
I was never a hater.
I've come around.
I was never
I've
a
come
hater.
around hard to the
I
David
want to
King
get a
train.
David King t-shirt. Does he have merch? Does
Well,
David
we
King?
can make merch.
believe
We
so.
should make just David King t-shirts and just have
Return
like,
of the King.
Yeah, fuck. We should. I'll try and reach out to him and just say, would you mind if we
do-
used your likeness?
We'll make
for
a
it?"
Return of the King.
Your likeness, like
We'll
your
make a return
identical
of the,
likeness.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll make a Return of the King shirt, and Gollum is Hutto.
Yeah. Who's Lee Montagna going to be though?
He's got to be Sam or something.
Yeah, Lee Montagna can be Samwise Gamgee. That's fucking good. I actually rate that. Oh, and it's just the first crack, boys. This is such good merch ideas. All right, put that in the
In the
back
off
burner.
season,
Yeah,
we'll,
that's good.
we'll play around with merch.
We can totally do that for a merch thing.
Because we want to do our own as well, and if people
Yes,
are interested,
yes.
Write into us and
And
tell
we've
us.
also got the graphic design work from the great Zach Jury, who we use as the logo, which is for legal purposes not a picture of Barry Hall. We're not using Barry Hall's
Well,
likeness.
who thinks it's Barry Hall?
That could be any bald man.
That's not Barry Hall.
That could be Sam Pepper.
It's an
That could be
anonymous-
Jason Statham.
That's an
Fraser
anonymous
Gehrig without hair.
It could be
cartoon
Fraser Gehrig.
character.
It could be that guy from Barry who plays the Chechen.
I've never even heard of Barry Hall.
No, I've never heard. Have you heard of the show Barry? Have you watched Barry?
Do you think it could be Paul
Great, it's a
Gallen?
great show. Sorry,
Could be Paul Gallen.
it could be
He
Paul
packs
Gallen.
a punch.
It could be, yeah. Paul Gallen would fucking
just
absolutely
never talked
fuck
about-
up Brent Staker. He would. He would have killed him if that punch was from Paul Gallen. Anyway, how was your boy update, Joel?
So
Joe
my
Richards.
boy played another game of VFL like
Yes.
he's been doing all season. So they had a 14-point win over Sandy.
Yes, the Sandringham Dragons.
No, the Sandringham Zebras.
Oh, it's the Zebras. Sorry, yes, the Zebras. My mistake.
Dragon is the under 18s.
Yes,
team.
that's the under 18s.
So 1 goal, 1 and 9 disposals. Just ticked along. It was a very
That's a
low
good,
scoring game.
very
so-
good small forward game. Very, very good.
And my papa,
Yes.
Reece Stanley, had 9 disposals and 31 hit-outs.
31 is a solid hit-out stat line for a ruck. Fantastic.
Yeah, don't
well,
mind
our respective fathers and sons have been having a mixed bag of weeks, but Corey's, as usual, really carrying the boy stable. There
He's
he
got
is.
pride
There's
of
Sammy
place.
Flanders up
pride
there.
of-
He's doing
pride
a
of
great
place
job.
up on top of me golf clubs there.
And now we will move on to the next segment, the other flagship segment of the Barely Touched Him podcast. It is, of course, Is Joel Okay? Where we check in on all things St Kilda. He's wearing his Saints jacket.
And my Saints tracksuit.
And the Saints tracksuit. It's
Saints
a full
G-strings
It's a
under
full
there
set.
too.
Wow.
It's a Saints G banger under there. I can only assume he's got some other Saints merch stuffed somewhere.
The butt plug you're
We
talking
don't.
about.
The Saints butt plug. We don't know. Now, you didn't watch the game live, but I tell you what, this would have been stress for you if you did.
I think it was more because obviously I like to watch every game of footy,
Of course.
especially my own team.
Yes.
I'll miss countless things to watch my own game.
Yes. The birth of your own children you'd miss to watch the Saints.
I'd have to have sex to.
That's
worry
true.
about that one.
But, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We'll
boy
talk
can
him
dream.
through the birds and the bees. Don't worry, listeners. We'll talk Joel through it. It's fine. Now, have you rewatched the North Melbourne game?
I did watch the mini.
Yep.
So when it was live, I got to see the score at half time.
Yes.
I got to see the score at 3/4 time.
Yep.
And at half time, it wasn't great. Like
Yep.
clearly, I was pissed off, but I was thinking we can still win it.
Yes.
Bank the 4 points.
Yes.
3/4 time, I'm thinking, fuck it, all right, hurry up, boys. Like Machito Owens needs to come out and be the key forward.
Yes,
We
he
all
has to
know
be.
he
It
is.
has to be the linchpin of the medium-sized forward that he is.
He's a key forward.
He's a key forward for the purposes of
Now,
this analogue. I
To
won't
my mind,
interrupt.
To my mind, it is.
He played well.
It is
did.
beyond shocking that the Saints are fifth or sixth on
Yeah,
the ladder.
so-
They're sixth.
How
It's
that is
incredible.
possible?
They don't
when
feel sixth,
when
do
you look
they?
at
They don't.
when
They
you
don't
look at
feel it.
when you look at all the teams going down to 10th.
Yeah, yeah.
You
The
can
fact
pick
that they are
any
this
one of
far
them.
ahead of the Crom is a travesty.
That
It is a
insane.
travesty.
That's insane.
So is Joel okay? Joel is doing just okay.
It was. I will say it was a very
got the win.
resilient effort to end up winning because North were fucking turning it on. It wasn't a case of like St Kilda being exceptionally shit. Yes, they could have played better over the first three
That's
quarters.
the second game against North with being exceptionally shit.
Yeah, and also got tested against the Eagles as well. So like
We
this
love-
is
Big time.
these are teams where you should be percentage boosting.
And we are playing Hawthorn next week, which would make anyone else
Well,
feel confident,
listeners,
but we are not.
I don't
Mate,
want to spoil
you better
anything.
believe I'm tipping the Hawks.
In that, well, Corey's just spoiled it for the tipping episode. After this,
It's not even a.
let's just
second
pretend Corey didn't say that. Who are we going to tip? You've got to tune in tomorrow to find out. Please, if you're watching right now, follow the podcast and rate us and all those good things. If you've come over from Kicking Forward after I gave it a shameless plug, welcome to you. We have a tipping episode after this as well. I am leaning towards maybe tipping against the Saints in that one as well.
Yes.
I tipped North Melbourne this week.
Yeah, same.
You all laughed at me. No, you
Oh, I
didn't laugh
didn't.
at me.
I
No, Corey
tipped
didn't laugh
North
at
as
me.
well.
And it looked to be a pretty fucking good tip until 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, look, Jackie Higgins just doing what Jackie Higgins does.
I thought Rowan Marshall was
Him going forward was honestly the catalyst.
the
that got
contested
job
marks he was taking. It was so demoralising for that North back line. You could tell as soon as he took him, they're just like,
done. He's
fuck.
a smoky for the All-Australian team.
It's
a
him or
ruckman.
English. It's
Yeah.
him or English for that ruck spot. It has to be.
I think I would go English.
You
Surely.
think?
He'll make the 40 though, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
they
Yeah,
might
that's
even chuck him
possible.
on the bench. Like they have done 2 ruckmans
Yeah,
in the
but he'll
All-Australian
make the
team
40,
before.
I think, and
yeah, I
deservingly
think that's
so.
that's a pretty safe call. So, at the end of each Is Joel OK segment, we ask ladder prediction. Now, this is a spicy ladder prediction after this week. After this performance against North, you've got Hawks coming up, and they challenged Richmond.
They beat us.
They beat you last time. Where do you see the Saints finishing on the ladder? What is your prediction, Joel?
So, my prediction for this one, well, for this season, is 8th.
8th. You're locking in 8th now.
We get
You realise that's
three-
the
That's
most
been as-
coveted spot.
That's been as high. Dear listeners, if you are frequent listeners of the pod, and we appreciate you very much, you will remember Joel saying we're going to finish top of the ladder and win the flag.
Yeah, home and away and the flag
That has now plummeted
plummeted all the way.
down
Slightly.
to 8th. Down to 8th.
Look, we get Jack Hayes
The
back
spirit
this
has been
week.
broken.
Membry back this week.
How many games has Jack Hayes played of AFL football?
How many good games?
How many games total has he played of AFL football?
5.
5. The crafty veteran Jack Hayes comes back into the lineup.
Yep. 5
And
good
they're
games.
charging for 8th, ladies and gentlemen.
There
They're
it is.
charging for 8th. And
There it is.
so you finish 8th, you play off in an elimination final, presumably against like a Geelong or a
GWS.
or a GWS away if you're in 8th.
Yep.
Yeah, look,
Do you win that?
No.
I hope so.
I'm not asking for a hope. I'm asking for a prediction.
I think it's possible we could.
You think it's possible we could. Painfully neutral, listeners. Painfully neutral. Well, we'll tune in next week where the prediction drops to 9th and then to 10th. And
It
then
won't.
the
It won't.
wheels go falling off. Oh, when the wheels go falling off. Anyway, other news we go on to now, ladies and gentlemen, where we do a bit of other sporting news to round out the pod, but also other news in general. You know, if you've got, we all throw to each other for these ones. I've got one to start us off.
Hit me.
Kylian Mbappe,
Oh, yes.
the captain of the French national team, young 24-year-old wonder kid. If you are a football fan,
Arguably,
you will know.
Gardner.
arguably the best player on earth.
Arguably the best player in the world. He's definitely top 3, according to a lot of people. He is number 1. Now, he's been playing for Paris Saint-Germain for years and years and years now. By that, I mean like 4 years. And he is now wanting to leave Paris Saint-Germain. He's told the club he wants
Yep.
to leave.
Can you say that club
And from
name
what
in a French
from what I
accent?
understand,
Paris Saint-Germain.
from what I understand, they're not happy about that. Are they?
They're not happy about it. Real Madrid have wanted him for a while. That has been pretty much chalked up as, if you asked a pundit or the key guy who is clued in on these things for a journo is Fabrizio Romano. He's been saying
Good name.
Real Madrid has been, the place he was going to. But another suitor has come in for Kylian Mbappe, and guess who it is? You'll never guess.
Al Halal.
It's Al Hilal. Alhamdulillah, we're going to get Kylian Mbappe. Yes.
Inshallah,
yes.
my brothers.
Inshallah. Kylian Mbappe will go to the Saudi Pro League. They have offered him a 1-year contract.
This is mind-blowing.
The fee to PSG. So this is just the fee to get him to the clause to get him to come to the table before wages, just the transfer fee, $300 million to PSG.
That's US.
I heard 400 Australian or 400.
It's half a
and
billion.
then when you get to
It's
his
half a billion
salary
Australian.
for a year, $700 million US,
Yep.
13.4 million a week on a 1-year deal.
insane.
$13 million a week.
This
And
is
4 hours
this is
And he
truly
might
crazy.
say no. He might actually turn this
So
down.
PSG's agreed to it, but he
still has to. Yeah, but
he
that's,
has to agree.
They have already paid this $300 million, regardless of whether they get him or not. That's just to
Man,
pay out his
the-
clause
And
to
for
negotiate.
our Australian listeners who don't know how the currency exchange, that is $1.15 billion for his actual 1-year
It's a lot of dollary dues in our money. It's a lot.
$1 billion.
Now,
Is
these-
fucking
these
insane.
Arabs,
That
man,
is
it is crazy.
300 Buddy Franklins. That's insane maths on this. We're talking like 600 Rhett Bazos.
Now we've
it's-
spoken about
And the rest.
we've
And the
spoken
rest.
about the money washing that the Arabs are doing
Yes.
on the global stage in terms of sport,
Sports washing,
in a
yes.
couple of episodes before. But this is another level.
It's if they get Mbappe,
Yeah.
it's on for young and old. I mean, I'm already like enamored with this.
Well,
with,
they've got Cristiano Ronaldo.
They've got Cristiano Ronaldo.
But
they've
he's
got,
in the
they've
twilight.
Got, they've got Kareem Benzema.
Yep.
They have got. I should have brought a list of
They
all the
tried
players
to
they've
get
got.
Messi, but he went to the States.
Messi went to the States. They've got Kalidou Koulibaly. They've got N'Golo Kante.
You know who they don't have, though? Brian Myers.
They don't have Brian Myers.
don't have Brian
They've got
Myers.
Steven Gerrard, who's gone over to manage a team.
I thought he was dead.
No, he's not dead. He's like, it's Steve Gerrard. The meme of Steve Gerrard is, yeah, of course. That's how he answers every question in his Scouse accent. He's gone over to manage a team. I think it's one of them, Al something. They're all called Al something. But I'm getting close to, I need to fucking pick a Saudi team to go for and follow this league.
It's getting bizarre.
I'm going to
man.
start following this Saudi league, and I'm going to pick the shittest Saudi team to do it that has no players.
But the thing
I'm going
is-
to do some research, listeners, and get back to you.
But the thing is, what they're trying to do here is plan for the future
yes,
because oil is running out, and
Yes.
they have basically unlimited money. These guys,
Yep.
their net worth is in the trillions. So they're dropping all this money to. I mean, they did it with the Live Golf, and
Yes.
and the
and
PGA
that
has
ended
just
up working.
capitulated.
That ended up working.
Capitulated
so is
out of
the
nowhere.
Premier League going to capitulate?
But this is the thing. Like, how long is this going to last for? When the money runs out in 20, 30 years,
Yep.
everyone's just going to move back away. And
Yep.
they're
Well,
just going to spend
Hey,
all
but
this money
for
on nothing.
Mbappe at the moment, he's going to get a
'Cause
million.
20 or
the
30
reason-
years is a long fucking time
The
in
reason
sport.
the reason they are dropping all of this money is to get interest in Saudi Arabia, get people to come there.
Yes.
But they don't have any water. Like, it's inhospitable
It's
places.
all right. They can buy that.
It'd be a great place to go if you're rich, you know, because you stay in
But
the
this is
sick
the thing;
hotels.
they're not going to
you
be
stay
rich
at-
forever. Like that. This is the crazy
Yeah.
thing. Like they're
Don't
trying to
worry about it
invest.
then.
They're
They'll be
investing
dead
in the
then.
wrong. They're investing in the wrong thing.
What should they be investing in? Corey?
Energy, water,
yeah, perhaps maybe
science,
getting some water.
perhaps instead of dropping $1 billion on a single soccer player.
Yeah, it's look, it's going to be an interesting league to watch. I tell you what, they're going to have baller stadiums to play in. I don't know how packed they're going to be with fans. I don't know what the fan turnout
They
is
can
like
pay people to
in
go.
the Saudi Pro League.
Yeah.
but I'm
Well,
going to pick a team.
The good thing will be when you go to the game, there won't be any annoying women there because
Oh,
they're not allowed in. They don't let them in. Which is
Oh, you
fantastic.
killed me. Oh, dear. We were so close to not saying anything misogynistic, but then Saudi football comes up and you
Hey,
sort of have to. You
I
sorta have to.
stand with my Saudi brothers.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Alhamdulillah. It's salam alaikum. So I'm gonna pick a Saudi team. I hope you boys pick
Yeah, I'll
one
get
as
in on
well.
it. I'll get in on
Do
it.
some research.
Yeah.
Anyone got any other news to throw
Well,
into
we'll
the other
stay
news
with
segment?
soccer.
Yes.
Well, football.
Excuse me.
The Women's World Cup is happening in Australia
Yes,
right
yes.
now. And I'll give you the hot tip. I accidentally watched a game on Saturday. It was a fucking banger.
What game did you watch?
New Zealand versus Norway.
Oh,
It
yes.
was a legitimate banger.
Yeah, dude. The standard is very good.
The standard
Did you say on
completely shocked
Saturday?
me.
yeah.
Was it Saturday? Might have been
No.
Friday.
Yeah.
Might have been Friday.
It could have been any day. Could have been any
Yeah.
day. Yeah,
Look,
really.
my days blend together.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm a fucking uni student, man. But yeah, New Zealand, Norway, the standard really shocked me.
Yep. I
was
imagine
fantastic.
there were.
I'm loving the World
So
Cup.
New Zealand won that game 1-0. It should have been maybe about 3-0 with the
Yeah, okay.
chances that New Zealand had, especially late. Apparently, Norway were the massive favourites in that game.
Norway
So it was
are a very proud footballing country.
Huge game for New Zealand.
Did all of the ladies look like Erling Haaland? Or did
The
they not?
Norwegians, they looked like more attractive versions. So
Okay.
Erling Haaland
Yep.
to me looks like a character creator in a video game gone wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
Like when you boot up Skyrim and go, let's make this
Let's
guy
make
look like
a random
potato.
Nord, and then you randomize the Nord character generator. That's Haaland.
Listen, there was some good looking ladies in there.
Oh, of course.
But
Yes.
the standard of the game blew me away. And but New Zealand unfortunately turned around and lost to the Philippines yesterday.
Oh, the Philippines.
So the Philippines scored their first ever goal in Women's World Cup history and notched up their first ever win
Holy shit.
against New Zealand, who just beat Norway. So,
Well, that's a great story. That is a great underdog
Australia
victory there.
beating Ireland 1-0 over the weekend as well.
I
Sam
watched
Kerr
that game.
laid out.
I paid a lot of attention to that game.
I watched
Big
that
fan.
game. Honestly, the penalty kick that I feel so bad for forgetting the acting Australian captain's name who kicked that penalty.
Forward.
Was it Ford or was it something else? Either way, this penalty was a bullet, like top left corner, unsavable, and that would trouble a lot of men's keepers. That was a rocket into top bins. Like fantastic kick.
There's some good stuff happening in the Women's World
Yeah,
Cup.
it was just a really good, scrappy game of defensive football on both ends. Yeah, loved it. Absolutely loved it. I've got an article to read out. Sorry, I know you've got sporting news, Joel.
It's all right.
You go your sporting news first, actually. I've got to find where I put my phone because there's this article on it.
So I've got a couple here, starting with the Swimming World Championships. Ariana Titmus beating the 400 freestyle world record by half a body length.
Oh, the
Titmouse.
world record. Yes.
By half a body length as well. She fucking
I'm a
killed
fan
it.
of the titmouse. It's
Yes.
half a body length a lot.
Yeah,
That
that's a
world,
fair bit.
world record.
Whenever
yeah.
I watch
no-
the
it's an-
Olympics
yeah,
and the
when you-
swimming zone, I tend to turn it off.
When you're talking swimming, it's like that's a fair bit. That's a fair bit.
China dominating 28 medals, 17 gold. Second to
Classic.
Australia on 5 gold. So you can see the difference in that one. The PGA was on the British Open.
Yes.
Unknown USA player wins.
Oh, hello.
So I've got-
No, it was
No, I do
what's
know
his
his
name?
name. Yep.
Byron Hartman, I
Yeah.
think is his name. Yeah,
So
I
this-
wasn't that familiar with him.
This guy's somewhat, I wouldn't call him unknown. He's somewhat of a prodigy. He he got his card, I think, at like 19 or something. Like he's actually quite incredible. He played college golf as well. But yeah, it's phenomenal for him to pick that one
Yeah,
up.
nice.
Huge.
I have. Oh, sorry.
Jason Day has been a runner
Yeah,
up
got
now
in top. Yeah, runner
at
up.
every
yes.
major.
Yeah, that's fucking cool of Jason Day. He's still kicking. And Aussie boy Minwoo Lee was right up on the leaderboard and just faded out towards the
You
end.
know, my
Do you know,
mum's
are
cousin-
you aware of Minwoo Lee?
I thought Minwoo Lee was a woman.
No, it's a
No, that's
man.
Min
It's,
Ji Lee.
it's an Asian Australian bloke. He's awesome. He's
So mum's
great.
cousin is
He's my new
his
favourite golfer.
coach
Oh, nice.
and Minji Lee.
Connection to the pod. Very cool.
Minji
Now,
Lee.
when we do this other news segment, I literally just go onto news.com.au to
find
see
the
if there's
first
any,
fuck story.
which is just
Oh, have you read Damien Barrett's book?
a jizz rag of a publication. It's News Corp, so it's just fucking awful clickbait tabloid shit. But occasionally you get a headline where I'm like, I have to click this and read this out on the pod. I have not read this article yet, but I had to click it. Boxer's fight cancelled after he threw hot dogs at Muslim opponent.
That is not haram.
It's not haram. I really hope this guy got his comeuppance. Not cool. Absolutely not haram. Let's read on.
What the?
A conservative YouTube star sparked outrage and had his fight cancelled after hurling hot dogs at his Muslim opponent.
Oh, it wasn't Sam Hyde, was it?
I don't think it was Sam Hyde. A conservative YouTuber sparked outrage after hurling hot dogs at his Muslim boxing rival during a press conference. YouTuber Alex Stein and TikToker Modine were set to go head-to-head in the Misfits Boxing 008 until the sickening joke led to the bout shouts cancellation, as The Sun reports.
Wow.
Video from the conference shows the exact moment that Stein riled up the tensions and targeted his opponent with the vile prank. It all started after Stein, dressed in a blue suit and sunglasses, stood up to accuse Dean of loving soccer rather than baseball. Here,
What?
and this is a quote.
Hang on.
Yep.
So this is the guy that threw the hot
Through
dogs.
the hot dogs.
And before he's thrown the hot dogs, he's accused him of loving soccer.
Yeah, he's accused the Muslim
more
guy of...
than liking. But what's wrong with that?
It's a correct opinion to have, to love soccer more than baseball. I'm sorry. Soccer is a much better sport than baseball.
I like them. I like them both, but it seems that that's just a bit pedantic. Isn't
I'm
it?
backing Modine here in this.
You like soccer more than baseball, do you?
Yeah.
Hey,
You want to go?
look at this
You've
guy.
just got hot dogs on standby, ready to throw. And the quote from Stein, who was throwing at dear Muslim brother.
Which hot dogs do you reckon he threw? Like the red Frankfurts?
Well, there's a picture here. They're like raw hot dogs that is in the suit here. He's just got a bucket full of
good.
them on standby. Here in America, our favourite pastime is baseball, the online troll said to Dean.
This is his problem with him, that he just doesn't like baseball.
It's very odd,
That
isn't it?
is
It's an odd hill to die on.
extremely odd.
It's an odd hill to die on. Dean responded saying that he had no idea what Stein was talking about before Stein said he brought his opponent a present that would help him to like baseball. I know you love hot dogs, so, he said before chucking a bucket of hot dogs right at Dean's head. Dean leaped up to the table and charged Stein, who continued to taunt him with a microphone in his hand. Men at the table jumped into action and barely held back the TikToker, who was known for stalking celebrities and posting his encounters online. So this is what Modine
I think I've
was
seen
doing.
that guy.
I know nothing about these two people.
I think I've seen this guy. He is famous for stalking celebrities.
Jesus, what an odd... This
And he's
is
throwing the hot dogs.
This is a part of the internet I've not discovered yet, these
We could
two.
do a whole
It's bizarre.
episode on just like random shit stories like
This
this.
is a rabbit hole you
So they
could go
cancelled
down.
the bout.
They cancelled the
Over
bout.
the hot dog
The
incident.
entire ordeal completely knocked down the backdrop for the event where the press conference was happening, which will see the likes of Nick LeMayo, no idea who the fuck that is,
LeMayo.
Swarms with a Z, B Dave, and Ryan Johnston.
Sorry, B Dave.
The letter B and Dave.
So they're-
the gang's all here. These
So,
are
yeah.
the celebrities. If
These are your top tier characters.
These are who I'm up against trying to get fucking famous on the internet. These,
You know what, this is
I'm
like
gonna
a-
throw hot dogs at somebody to fucking make my mark.
This is like a boxing game that you get off Steam, but they don't
Yeah.
have the license
We should
to.
do
And
a
they just got to
celebrity
get
boxing.
random.
They just got to get random names.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a celebrity boxing bout.
No, like we should find other podcasts and do celebrity boxing bouts.
Yeah,
with
I've
them.
had my eye on that
Don't-
skinny bloke from the Inspired Unemployed. I could take
Don't
him.
think
I
that
could
would go
fucking
too
take
well
him.
for you, Joel.
Yeah, you
I'd
need.
back myself.
Look, it'd be great TV.
No, seriously. I
Skinny
reckon.
bloke from the Inspired Unemployed. This is. I'm calling you out. I'll get you inside 2 rounds
Good.
easily.
Good.
Easily. Who are you calling out, Corey?
Oh, good
Who's
Lord.
an internet celebrity you reckon you could start?
I'll take Josh Gallop.
Oh, he's huge.
Yeah, I
man.
know he's big.
He's
You got to
fucking
get in
massive.
and inside.
I think Josh would be hard to
Well,
get in
look,
there.
I
You
like
gotta-
the challenge.
You are a rangy man though, but your shoulder would 100% pop
I've
out.
got chaotic moves.
You do. It's
won't
a
see it
you
coming.
can whip him with your hair as well, much like the wrestler Bianca Belair does. Anyone else got some sporting
Can I
news
take
/ other
Giorgio
news?
then?
You could probably take Giorgio. You could
Like,
absolutely
he's
take him.
obviously away on his.
I haven't seen him in the flesh, but I've been told he's very small.
Now-
I've been told he's very small.
We could have a bit of fun with this.
We
if
could.
they can.
Daniel Ricciardo has made his comeback.
Yeah.
We
Danny
talked about it
Ric-
last week.
Had to get into Formula One.
Incredible.
You've been chomping at the bit.
He did incredibly well. So off the line, he qualified 13th, which doesn't sound amazing, but it's as good as you can get in the shit box that he's driving.
He's just in a beat up old
So
Toyota Camry.
Off the line, Zhou Guanyu of Alfa Romeo has caused a massive crash, which caused both of the Alpine cars, the 2 French cars, to DNF, and it caught Danny Rick up. So he was
Fucking
last.
prick.
He was last from the first corner.
God damn.
He put in probably one of the best drives of the day, to be honest.
Wow.
To finish 13th.
Yep.
Did one pit stop less than everyone else and eked 40 laps out of one set of tyres.
Wow.
All of the other drivers at the end were like, did Danny Rick do another stuff? And they're like, no. And all the drivers were like, whoa,
Shit, nice.
Jesus
well
Christ,
done, Danny.
all right.
Yes, respect,
So
Danny.
we managed to pull 13th out, and it was an extraordinarily admirable drive
Yep.
for his first one back.
Did Verstappen win?
Verstappen did win.
Oh,
by a good 33 seconds.
I
Yeah.
cannot
After
believe it.
qualifying second as well.
Yeah. Well, the thing was they balanced the car for race day, not for qualifying.
Yep.
So it wasn't a huge shock. He after the qualifying, he said how poorly balanced the car was, and it was to save the rear tires.
Yep.
But on race day, oh mate, he was flying.
He was fucking
He was
good.
flying. But our other Australian, Oscar Piastri,
The pastry boy.
He was shooting for a podium. Ended up in fifth. He had a bit of an incident over a curb, perhaps some floor damage in the
I've
second
been
half
there.
of the race. But the McLarens are flying. Verstappen, Norris, Perez.
Do
Good
we
race.
think Danny Rick is driving for Red Bull next year?
Hard to say. Hard to say.
Gun to your head right now. What are you saying?
No.
Oh, then who gets him? Who snatches him up?
Hard to say. The revolving door and silly season of F1 is unlike anything you can
Well, I had
compare
this
it to.
conversation with a mate on Sunday night, and I've saying hands down that he does end up at Red Bull.
Does end up at Red Bull, says Joel. Corey says no.
No, I don't think so.
Time will tell.
The reason he's in this AlphaTauri seat is to motivate Perez. And Perez is, I mean, he's come third. Like,
Well, there you go. There,
he's
case
coming
in point.
second in the leaderboard standings.
Well,
So,
there you go.
like, how much better do you want him to be?
In other sporting news, we've retained the Ashes, boys.
We have.
We've only gone and fucking done it.
Piers
Piers
Morgan
Morgan,
has
he's
a
fucking
prick,
eh?
had a fucking
Yeah, we've talked
cry
about we
about
talked about this on Kick It Forward last night, and it. I don't know exactly what Piers Morgan said, but I can only assume he was being a daft cunt about it.
Has Piers Morgan ever had a logical good take
No.
of anything?
The only time was about gun control, but that's a gimme. That is an absolute gimme. It's a responsible take that. He would just get some gun-toting, like, random-ass politician, I think, from the US that thinks that, that he was born with a gun. You can pry it out of my
very
cold,
strange,
dead
man.
hands.
Have you ever
it's my
seen,
right to shoot kids. And Piers Morgan is trying to be the logical guy, talking to him.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing,
He
Piers.
would have felt
I know
wrong
what you're
doing
doing.
that as well.
Have you
like
ever
being
seen
logical.
him on camera explaining how Prince Harry basically stole Meghan Markle
Yeah, he
away
was
from him?
dying on this hill that he had a shot
Yeah.
with Meghan Markle.
And
no,
she-
you fucking
and they
didn't,
asked
Piers.
her,
No,
and she
you
was
didn't.
like, well, like he asked me, I was on the TV with him. He asked me out to have a drink or whatever. I totally didn't realize it was a date scenario.
On air, he asked her out.
No, afterwards.
Oh, okay,
you
all
want
right,
to
yeah.
come for a drink? She's like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. And
And
he's
then
taken that
she
as...
ended up not going for whatever reason.
Oh.
And he's misconstrued that as like he was basically going to marry her.
God damn it. Like, what did
Very
you think...
bizarre.
What did you think was going to happen, Piers?
I mean,
really?
have you seen him?
He's awful. He's
looks
awful
like a
to look
testicle.
at. Awful to look at. Just horrendous. Ugh. I hate him so
But
much.
we do have the Ashes.
We won. We fucking got the Ashes.
we do have the
We got
Ashes.
one more test. Hopefully, it's a good showing of Test cricket.
It has been a great Ashes series.
Yes.
To have that one rained out, it was good for us because we were getting
Yes.
smashed.
Yeah, absolutely. We were going to lose that. We were going to lose
We're
that.
gonna lose by an innings.
Absolutely. But, them's the breaks. They should have put the roof over the stadium.
Now, I have got an interesting one
Yes.
here. We did talk about an all-star team of paddies before.
Yes.
I have got a sporting event that had two complete all-star teams of paddies.
Oh, are we going to
the
the Irish land?
All-Ireland hurling final.
Oh,
Diddly-diddly
now,
potato.
if you are not familiar with the sport of hurling,
It's fucked.
It's the stupidest sport.
it is the silliest sport perhaps on planet Earth.
Yes, I think when you see someone from America or wherever watch AFL and
Yeah.
they're a bit confused,
Yeah.
I get it. Like you watch
Yep.
hurling, and I think that's how they feel.
Hurling is easily sillier than
Oh, it's
AFL.
way sillier.
It's way sillier than AFL.
It's football, but you have bats.
You have a paddle. You've got a little paddle. It's not even. You can't even call it a bat. It's like a small chopping
Well,
board.
that's what the hurley is. The hurley is the pat. That's where it gets its name.
and you can hit the ball in a
so
serving
you can
motion.
carry it for a little while, I believe, 4 steps,
but
and
it's
then
got
you
a
have
bounce
to.
criteria,
Yeah,
like
and then
a
you got to
like Gaelic
balance
and
it on
AFL.
there, and then you can chuck it up and belt it.
Yeah.
And they have a soccer goal,
Yes.
but with football goals
Yes.
above that.
So like Gaelic football goals,
Exactly.
essentially.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
the in Gaelic football, what you'd call an under, like a goal, is 3 points, and an over between the sticks is 1.
Yep.
The most bizarre sport of all time.
Oh, easily.
Very, very lots of contact.
Lots of fights.
Full contact.
Lots of fights. Yeah. Well, they're
Also,
Irishmen.
Those hurling sticks fucking hurt.
Oh,
yeah.
they do a bit of
Yeah,
a bruising
they're
over
slow.
on you.
They're-
when a player reaches 30 games in hurling, that's like an insane milestone.
Is it really?
Yeah.
How many do they play in a season?
No, it's because they don't last long. Because they
Oh,
get beaten.
yeah,
the
okay.
No
fuck
padding.
up.
Since 2010, you have to wear a helmet
Yep.
because obviously people were just getting their faces rearranged. I believe in amateur levels, you don't have to wear the helmet.
Yep.
In the professional league. So we had Limerick versus Kilkenny, which
fuck yeah.
are the 2 most Irish
Yes.
place names
Yes.
ever. Amazing. Limerick was without their captain, Declan Hannon, which was I'm told a big out.
No, huge out. Huge.
But they managed to win it.
He's front runner for the Irish Brown.
They managed to win it.
Oh,
now, I'm going to
nice.
explain the scoreline to you here.
Yeah, go on.
It's not going to make much sense. So Limerick won 0-30. That's Limerick's score.
0-30.
That's their score.
What?
And Kilkenny got 2-15.
2 for 15.
2-15.
Oh, good. What does that mean,
so
Corey? What does it all mean, Basil?
You can't bring the points together. It's always said as... So the 0 for Limerick means they didn't score any goals, but they got 30 overs.
Oh, it's the over and under.
And
Okay, yeah.
2 goals and 15 overs, so that would be 21. So
Why not just say what the total is?
They don't. Apparently,
That's silly.
Apparently, it's a faux pas.
That is so silly.
If you say, "Oh, who's winning?" and you say, 19, and they've got the no.
That's
what's the
very
over-unders?
pretentious, hurling people. I'm sorry.
Look, they're a strange lot.
They're a
Speaking
strange
of- Have you
ever
lot,
met an
the
Irish person?
No, but
I
I'm a
love the
big
Irish.
fan of the cranberries. I have met Irish people. I have met Irish people.
So-
They're like these mythical creatures. They live in the forest. I've
wee
never
little
seen them.
leprechaun.
No,
I
I've said
did
it on the
watch-
pod before. I've worked for some what you might call travellers Irishmen. The
pikeys.
They were pikeys. The hardest people to understand I've
Yeah.
ever heard in my
Now,
life.
I did actually watch this game. It's a very enjoyable sport.
How did you
to
watch it? Is it on KO?
No, it wasn't okay. I had to stream it from a strange malware-ridden streaming
And it's
site.
Irish malware, so you know it's fucking cooked. You know, yeah, it's very cooked.
But when the new season gets underway, I'm definitely going to be following it.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So
What's that, Joel?
speaking of Kilkenny, so the most appearances in hurling,
Yes.
what would you say would be?
Well, you said 30 was impressive if someone did 30. I would
This
say
is most of all time.
most of all time by any player. Let's go a pretty generous guess and go 100.
Yeah, I think 100 sounds good.
So currently there's a player playing for Kilkenny,
Yep.
TJ Reid,
TJ is a good man.
the
He's a
most
great man.
Great man. Go on.
82.
82
not a lot, is it?
games.
That
He
is-
died
that was-
after. He died. 82
That is
games.
a record.
Fucking hell. That is I got to get into this, man.
got hit
I've
in
got
the
to
mouth
watch
with
some
a bat.
I've got to watch some hurling.
He got hit in the mouth with a bat.
Got hit in
He
the
had
mouth
to
with a
stop.
bat. He's dead. Can't
Got
come
to
out.
stop
Can't play the hurl anymore. Now, if we don't have anything else for the sporting news,
I do.
oh,
Now, boys, I'm very excited about this.
what's it got
As you know, one of my favourite sports that I follow religiously
Yes.
is synchronised swimming.
Who's your favourite synchronised swimmer?
Gavalenko
That sounds like a man.
Shevchenko.
That sounds like a man.
Well,
It's Gav.
it's because it is a man. And men are set to compete in synchronised
Get
swimming
the fuck
in the
out of here.
2024 Paris Olympics for the first time. And I cannot tell you how stoked I am.
We're gonna be so good at synchronised swimming.
The matriarchy is going down
The
once and for all.
misandry of synchronised swimming will not stand
I, for one,
any longer.
have been sick to death of sexism in sport for decades,
Yes.
especially pertaining to synchronised swimming. And
Yes.
I'm just glad that it's been put to bed. The men are allowed to do weird underwater dancing.
You,
And I'm here for it.
oh, the music choice is going to be so much better. It's going to get real gay, and I cannot wait. I would, if you, here's a question to round out the pod. If you were going to choreograph a men's synchronized swimming routine, what song would you
Nine
pick?
Inch Nails. What's
Closer?
that? Closer, yeah.
So I want to fuck you like an animal. That's what you're going with for your vibes of synchronized swimming.
Yeah.
I love it. That's going to be bold. 10s from the judges. Joel?
Oh, if we're going to go for the Aussies, I think Thunderstruck by Akadaka.
Yeah, it's a
Imagine
timeless
that,
classic.
Splashing around the water.
Get a bit of pyro in the
Yeah.
background. Yes, I think I would go again. You got to keep it as gay as physically possible here.
Yeah.
I reckon Go West by the Village People.
Oh, that's good.
You get just
That's very good.
and you all dress up as the Village People,
Yep.
and you just do the swimming number like
Yep.
that together. It'd be great.
It is a really bizarre sport, isn't it?
It's not a sport. Let's be perfectly fucking honest. It's not a sport. And you've heard my take on this before. I think I've said it on the pod.
We have
If
spoken
you
about
are,
it before.
you're dancing. You're dancing in the water. You are performing. You are not competing directly in a sport. It's the same thing with the Olympic floor routine. Not a sport.
Yeah.
Most gymnastics, not a sport.
Oh, see, I
I think
would,
there's a lot of people
I would
that
put
disagree.
And
gymnastics.
there are. It's a hot take,
I'd
Joel.
put gymnastics over synchronized swimming by
Yes,
a couple
I
of
would
levels.
think it's more athletically demanding than synchronized swimming.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I have more. Let's say I respect it a bit more, but you are ultimately just dancing
you're
for
dancing.
most of what gymnastics
Yeah.
is. The balance beam.
But you're
just
dancing in water.
You're just doing a dance on the balance
dancing
beam.
in water. That's fucking way
in
harder.
any case.
In any case,
That's all the sports
if you
news I have.
disagree, write into Barely Touched Him on the Instagram. You can find us Barely Touched Him on Insta, on TikTok. You can follow the TikTok
And
account.
share the podcast with a
write
mate.
us in. Send us whatever you want. We
Mm-hmm.
do a mailbag post like before the episodes on our story. But don't feel restricted to that. Send us in a DM at any time. We will probably read it out on the pod, unless you're filling it with racial slurs or something.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Don't say the N word.
Don't do that. And stay tuned for the tipping episode.